So, would you say that when you're approaching or in retirement, there are different annuities that might be more appropriate for you and the timing of your retirement? Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Kylee Mollotte with Retirement Fundamentals, joined by my co-host Ryan Anderson. Today we're going to talk about, for those of you approaching or in retirement, we have a lot of questions when it comes to how do I get through retirement. So today we have a question from a gal out of Dallas, Texas. She says, what is an annuity? So Ryan, welcome to the show, everybody.
What is an annuity? That is a great question. The thing about it is there's a technical definition, then there's a street level definition. Now, one of the things about it here, so let's get into the technical definition. An annuity is not an investment. If you put money into a 401k, into the market, into stocks, bonds, mutual funds, those are technically called investments. An annuity is an insurance contract with contractual guarantees, and it falls outside of the investment definition strictly. And what an annuity does is it gives you specific guarantees. It is a contract with the insurance company, and depending on what you want and what you're trying to accomplish will determine the kind of annuity you have. There are many different kinds of annuities. The first one of the more popular ones, is a fixed annuity, also referred to as a MYGA, a multi-year guaranteed annuity. These operate very similar to a CD at a bank. Put the money in here, take the money out here, you get a guaranteed interest rate. And you can get those anywhere from 2 to 20 years. Another kind of annuity would be a variable annuity. Now, this would fall into the, strictly speaking, into the investment range. And this takes the insurance world and the investment world, equity, stocks, those kinds of things, and kind of puts them together. And what this does is, one of the nice things about it is that in most cases, because of the insurance component of it, the principal quite often is guaranteed, or there is a floor where you cannot lose a portion of the principal. And then you've got the growth on it, and this is where the market side of it generally kicks in. So your gains are subject to loss. So it has some of the strengths of an annuity where there's no loss, and it has a some of the strengths of the market where there are some significant opportunity for gains. One of the big drawbacks with that kind of a solution, or one of that kind of a product, is they generally have significantly higher fees than a lot of the other straight investments or annuities. The third kind of annuity that I really like to deal with a lot is called a fixed indexed annuity. Now, a fixed indexed annuity takes an index. Now, if we look at a very basic definition of an index, all an index is a collection of monetary vehicles lumped together and measured as a unit. One of the more popular indexes out there is the S&P 500. Standard & Poor's 500. 500 are some of the best run companies in the country, lumped together and measured as a group. And what the insurance company will do is take that index and use it as a measurable, kind of an outside guide to determine how the credited gains are going to be given to that contract. The thing about it is that it is not, the insurance company does not invest directly into that index. They use a series of call options and bond purchases as a general rule to fund the annuity to guarantee the performance of the contract. So that's kind of a very high level look at how annuities are and how they work.
So, would you say that when you're approaching or in retirement, there are different annuities that might be more appropriate for you and the timing of your retirement?
Oh,
So you were talking
absolutely.
about a MYGA, right? That's a fixed annuity. You go in like a CD, and then you talked about the variable annuity, which it does have the guarantees of an annuity, but you can also lose money. So would that be an appropriate product or appropriate solution for someone who's just getting into the red zone, right? The first years before you retire, the first 5 years after you retire. Talk about the appropriateness of what solution works best for the timing of people.
That's a great question. The thing about it is that it depends, and it would be inappropriate for me to make a blanket statement, say this is what's right for everybody. And what it has to do is you look at each of your individual situations. So if we look at the MYGA, the multi-year guaranteed annuity, I've got a chunk of money over here sitting that I don't need. I can tie it up for years, 2, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever it is. And I want to get that guaranteed interest rate. I mean, I saw one the other day. It was a 5 year, multi-year guaranteed annuity, and they could get 5.9% on it. Now, depending on when somebody's watching this recording, that could be really good or it could be really bad or it could be right where the market is. Right now, that's a pretty good rate. And with and by doing that and putting money into that type of a product, I can guarantee a return for the next few years and completely eliminate market volatility. I also eliminate any chance of what I mean by market volatility. I eliminate any chance of loss, but I also eliminate any opportunity of gains above that 5.9% or whatever the fixed rate is. So if I've got somebody who is approaching retirement or in retirement or that retirement red zone, the few years before retirement to the few years after you start retirement, if you are looking for a solution that will give you a guarantee where, I'd like some growth, but I am more concerned that I don't lose what I have, then a MIGA might be an opportunity for you. Another thing here is that when it comes to retirement, I personally struggle with the use of variable annuities for folks in retirement. Now, they can give you a lot of guarantees, and there's people out there that will hear that and like, oh, that's blasphemy, that's wrong. Again, this is a personal preference. I tend to lean to the side of safety. Now, with a variable annuity, your principal is safe as a general rule, or there's some structures in place to keep you from losing it, but the upside potential is much larger. And if we're looking, and they've also have got some nice guaranteed income on that. Some of them do, if that's the purpose of it. Excuse me. But if you're younger, then you've got the time to recover. That's great. But just the downside is not there for me when it comes to somebody who's approaching retirement or in retirement. I believe there are other vehicles that can better suit those needs without the risk. Now,
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
So let's play. I mean, let's play a game, right? People who are watching, they want to say, "How does this affect me?" So let's take a client that we've had, right? We go in, they're 60, 61, thinking about retiring in 4 years, and they have a chunk of change. Let's say they have, 400,000 in their 401k and maybe 150 in their IRA, and they're saying, "Okay, this is $500,000. I know longevity in my family is long. I mean, we're looking at into my late 90s, mid to late 90s. I know as well as you do that $500,000 isn't going to last me my entire life. So how can it? What if someone's in that situation? What solution would you be pointing them towards, or what direction would you want to follow if they were looking for income?"
Okay. Now, one of the things about it here is, let me get back to the income piece there. I personally lean in that scenario, somebody going into retirement. I believe a fixed index annuity is ideal for that for the majority of people out there. Fixed index annuities come in two very common flavors. One of them is for income, as we're talking, and they've got some subsections under that. The other is for growth, and they've got some subsections under that. So let me just quickly take care of the growth piece for you, just to kind of set that aside. You can put money into a fixed index annuity and there are lots of solutions out there for this with multiple companies. No fees, no chance of loss. They can give you a fixed rate, probably not as high as a multi-year guaranteed annuity, but they've got some fixed rates in there. And they've got a wide selection of indexes, a lot of them based on the S&P 500, a lot of them based on other indexes out there that have got great track record of solid growth. Nice conservative growth right there, no chance of loss, no fees. So that's one solution. Another one would be for the income piece. Put a chunk of that money in there and let it sit for 4 years, 5 years, kind of let it bake. And then you can actually go through, and they've got a couple of options. Some solutions will give you, or companies will give you, a guaranteed income. It's right here. It's level from now until forever. Day one, you get, X amount, and that number never changes. Other ones will give you a cost of living allowance, or a fixed percentage where it will increase for a period of time, generally 10 to 15 years. Then whatever it's at that point in time levels out for the rest of your life. There are other solutions out there that will give you a cost of living increase on that based upon index performance. So even if the principal hits zero, you can still get an increase of income for the rest of your life. So there are a lot of options out there. And I think that if you take your Social Security as the base, and then if you've got a pension, put that on top of it, that something like this fixed index annuity would be very nice because quite often they have got a 100% spousal survivor benefit on it. So you have it on yourself. If your
That's
spouse,
huge.
yeah, and then if you pass away, your spouse continues to receive that income for the rest of your life. And if there's any value left in that contract when you both pass away, that will be given to your beneficiaries.
Yeah, that's huge for people. I mean, we go into this business, we sit in a lot of homes, they come into our office, and it's scary how many pensions drop off.
Yeah.
Oh, we took the full pension, so if I died tomorrow, this half of my income sometimes will disappear, plus what they're getting on Social Security. So to have that security, that's one of my biggest pluses when it comes to annuities is the peace of mind.
Hmm.
I mean, when you're entering into retirement, there's a lot of people who aren't financial advisors. There's a lot of people whose money blueprint, it varies, right? So they're trying to look for a way to say, how do I make this last for the rest of my life? Because I don't know how, and I'm not equipped with the tools to understand all of the different facets. And so that's why it's very important to have someone in your corner giving you good advice. I mean, you can look on the internet and look up what is an annuity, and you're going to get 15 different
Oh
answers.
yeah.
So it's always nice to sit down with someone and really get the nitty gritty. My dad would always liken it like, Kylee, if you want for advice, right? He's like, Kylee, if you're looking at a Ford truck, you're not going to go to a Dodge dealership. You're not going to go to a Cadillac. You're going to go to a Ford dealership to find out what's going on with the Fords. And vice versa. If you were looking for a Dodge, you're going to go to the Dodge dealership. Just because that's where they spend majority of their time, right? They know everything about that vehicle. They know all about the equipment, the parts, the running, all of those things. So it's nice to have someone who knows what they're talking about with annuities, not just something you hear on the radio, right? Like, oh, annuities are trash. Well, maybe in some aspects, but you could say that about any product, any solution out there. It's the education that goes behind it that people really lack. And I think it's important to have some skin in the game, right? So this is what we do day in and day out. We educate people on what an annuity is. I can ask, I don't know how many appointments I've asked, are you familiar with what an annuity is? Well, kinda. And then I'm like, okay, great. What do you know so I can fill in the gaps? And 9 times out of 10, it's something that's so outdated by 30 years that it doesn't even apply to them today. So
Yeah, I mean,
I think that education is
yeah,
huge.
and with that, I mean, one of the common things that misconceptions we have with annuity, and there are still a few contracts out there like this, not very many, and that is, I don't want to get an annuity because if I pass away, I want my family to receive that income or that benefit.
Right.
And it used to be, years ago, if you had an annuity and you passed away, if there was any value in that contract still, the insurance company kept it, which was kind of a jerk move. Let's be honest. It's not a happy place.
For sure.
Now that for us, I mean, I'm sure there are contracts out there, but I personally don't ever deal with them. And that is if you get somebody started on a stream of income, or if you put it into a product that will give them an increase, as far as for growth, that kind of a vehicle, that if you pass away, that 100% of that account value will go to your family members. Now, this is one of the beautiful things about an annuity with income, and I think we're going to talk about this in other episodes, and that is guaranteed lifetime income, even if the principal hits zero. So you put $100,000 into an annuity, you get income out of it for, X amount per month for you and your spouse. And 14, 15 years into that, you're probably going to hit zero. You're going to withdraw all the money out of it. But because it's in an insurance contract, you're going to receive income for the rest of your life. And in that particular case, the family won't receive a death benefit because there isn't one. You've spent it all. And you've also got that
Yeah.
wonderful contractual guarantee of income. So hopefully that answers your
Yeah.
question for you as far as what is an annuity. It's kind of we were scattered a little bit, but there's a lot of options there, but there's a lot of areas that I think people should look into and just don't discount it right out the door.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to recap, there are a couple different types. We've got a fixed or a MIGA annuity. We've got a variable annuity. And we've got a fixed indexed annuity. They all serve different purposes. They're for different situations. They are not all created equal. So it's definitely important for you to do some research, talk to a professional, and get some advice, definitely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to send us questions. This is what this platform is built for. We are client facing. We are helping people who are entering in and already in retirement with questions. So please comment below, send us yours in, and we'll get them answered for you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.